Hi, this is John Wake. I'm with Home Smart Real Estate in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're having a, a hangout on air talking about real estate video today. And Rich Cedarberg has started doing these every Tuesday morning, talking about just what he calls hanging out and talking real estate. And so I'll turn it right over to you, Rich.
Well, hey, thanks, John. Good morning. Um, I want to say, first of all, thanks to Karen Hyland for hosting last week's discussion on blogging for real estate leads. That was our sixth show, and each one has gained more viewers, and I think that's real exciting. So thank you, Karen. You did an excellent job. And thank you, John, for hosting today our discussion here about video. This is... The reason I wanted to start these hangouts was to just get people involved, real estate agents, and support, people like lenders, maybe title people, just to get people involved on this really super cool, high-tech but easy thing to do that we all have at our fingertips, and to discuss ideas and just kind of hang out and be informal. So thanks again to Karen for last week. Thanks, John, for this week. And I'm in Albuquerque, real estate agent with eXp Realty. I do business in the cloud and in Hangouts on Google+. So I love selling real estate, and I love just meeting new people who are doing cool things, especially with video.
Cool. Thanks. Let me introduce Lucas. Lucas is basically you're out of Calgary, but you're kind of an artist. The stuff you do, your home tours are amazing. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you got into video.
Yeah, thanks, John. I'm really excited to be invited to chat here. So for myself, I've been a realtor for about 12 years. And 3 or 4 years ago, I guess, I started originally, I read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It, who, of course, Wine Library TV, talks all about using social media for business. I started using video to do more, the blogging or vlogging, whatever you want to call it. And then I saw one of my competitors hired a young broadcaster guy as a partner, and he put out a couple videos more from a broadcasting angle. But the moment I saw it, thought it was a total game changer, and I realized I have to figure out how to do this because this is the future of marketing and real estate. And I did look around for a little bit to try to implement hiring some other people at the time to help me put together some productions. And again, just a few years ago, there was really not anyone really doing it. People weren't sure how to price it. And I looked at this and thought, I could probably figure this out. And so giving it some time and energy, my first production was terrible quality by, the standards of what I have expectation for by today, but, 100 and, 200 some videos later, yeah, they're pretty polished and look pretty professional, so I have a great time doing it.
Holy mackerel, you have 200 videos?
Yeah, and again, the first 100 really were probably more I was just cranking out the tips and tricks and things about real estate, and they reflect almost nothing what my later 100 look like now. But yeah, I've got about that many on my YouTube channel.
That's cool. Say, Lucas, let me ask you: are you a technical guy, or are you an artistic guy? Because why did you end up doing them so well?
Thanks. I would say I'm a tinkerer. I just not when it comes to mechanics or cars or houses, but when it comes to computer stuff, I don't mind getting in there and tinkering. And for real estate video, it's interesting. I mean, I get asked a lot, how do you, what lens do you use, and what ISO setting do you do, and what's your gear? And I say, I'm more of a why guy than a how guy. Like I know I look through the screen viewfinder and I just kind of crank some dials till I know what I'm seeing looks good. At a technical level, I don't read the magazines and the how-to stuff. I for the most part, if I'm stuck on an issue, I Google it, and some 12-year-old on YouTube gives you the answer, and then I just kind of roll with it and try to figure it out myself. Certainly, though, yeah, in terms of an art, I consider this an artistic outlet in my business, and it's become, for that reason, one of my favorite components of being a realtor is using this video marketing and having a place to create a form of an art that I can share with people.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, let me introduce John. John's from Lake Martin, Alabama. It's like a vacation property, and I always love his stuff because I just love looking at the pictures of the lake. Being from Arizona, love that.
Yeah, not much water, I guess. But yeah, I'm John Coley. I'm in Lake Martin, Alabama. It's central Alabama. It's very small. We call it LA. It's lower Alabama. And it's just in the middle of nowhere, basically. And we're a second home market. 90% of our buyers are second homers. And I'm a small boutique brokerage, just myself and one other agent. And that's it. But I got into I guess I got into video through my website. I started blogging back in like 2007, and then shortly after that, I found people asking a lot of questions about stuff that I didn't have on my blog, like, well, what does the view look like here? If to the right of this house, or to the left of this house, what does it look like? And so I started just by necessity, really, just getting my camcorder and going down and filming the view or panning around or whatever. And people would ask me how do you get from the house to the water, and I would just send them videos directly of what it looked like, and it just sort of took off from there.
Oh yeah, I love your videos. You seem to do real well. And I noticed you've been playing around with the quadcopter lately, which, like where I am, that would rarely work if I guess I got a mansion at some point. But for you, it seems like almost every home you sell is on the water or nearby, and just having that, get the lay of the land and accentuate the views, it just works spectacular for you.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer, really, because I had all the videos already on YouTube and had a pretty good presence on YouTube. But I saw I forget the name of the commercial broker. I was looking at a YouTube guy, and I think he was up in Indiana somewhere, and I watched how he had a quadcopter, and this was maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and he flew around a commercial warehouse building, and then he's narrating. He says, and look how close we are to the interstate, and he brings it up about 50 or 60 feet, turns it to the interstate, and I thought, it was kind of like Lucas mentioned a minute ago, sort of a lightning bolt hit me. I thought that's it. That would be so great on the lake, and so I find myself doing that a lot on the lake now. I mix it into my home tours, a few shots here and a few shots there. And then I also use it to just, I'll go to, landmarks at the lake and fly around and show a little bit. I'm just really starting on that. I'll admit I don't have very much experience, but they get a lot of attention from buyers and sellers.
So let me ask you, John. So like I asked Lucas, were you a technical guy? Were you like an engineering background or software?
Accounting background, but not really anything. The reason I started blogging was, even though we're in a small market, that, like, to put it into terms, last year about 275 waterfront homes were sold in the entire lake, which was a good year. But there are about 110 agents. So I was looking to kind of break through the noise of all the agents out there, and so that's when I started blogging, and video just sort of followed along with that. I was, experimenting with, and I hired a consultant to help me blog. And so video I just started in as an arm of that to kind of supplement my blog. And so once it just took off immediately, I got a lot of positive reaction. And I'm not an artist. Lucas mentioned ISO. I don't even know what ISO is. I don't know. I don't know what aperture stuff does. I should, but really I just kind of hit it and go. My theory is, I'm always trying to get better, obviously, and that's one of my goals for this year, is to really get better artistically at it. But my theory is, and I tell people that are trying to start, I tell them it's better to have 10 pretty good videos than that last 2 minutes each, than to have one perfect video that lasts 20 minutes apiece. Because if you're like me, that perfect video never gets made because I'm always trying to edit and I'm always trying to perfect. But hey, just get it out there, see what your consumers want, see what your buyers and sellers want, get it out there and get going, and you'll get better at it.
Boy, that's a great point you just made there, John, and you both talked about that, how you're not technical experts, right? How you're just realtors getting out there and doing it. And that's the way I felt when I was a beginning blogger. I was like, I don't think this is very good, but I'm putting it out there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to do it, and I'm going to suffer through the pain of the beginning until I get better at this, because I know I'm not going to get better if I don't do it. So you guys are doing great video without much, without technical expertise, without a lot of roadblocks to getting started. So that's awesome.
Hey, Karen, have you ever thought of doing videos, or have you done any?
Yeah, we've been doing videos probably for about 6 years, and it's funny that to back up what Rich was saying. When I started, my first videos were those Animoto videos where I put together some great stills. We live in a historic district, and that's a big draw for our whole Mid-Atlantic region. And a lot of people are interested in it and want to know about it, even though they never buy a house there. So that was the first place that I really started targeting with my blogging and with my videos. And, and after a while, like he was saying before, I felt like, oh, I gotta get better at this. I really want it to be quality because I was afraid that the market would become glutted, like if agents realized how powerful video was. But you know what? I'm still surprised that not that many agents are doing video. But nevertheless, I'm still trying to get better and better at it. So we went to a seminar at RE Tech South, and I don't know if you are familiar with the gentleman. I think his name is Coleman, but he teaches about video a lot. And so we went to his
It's Brian
seminar.
Copeland,
I'm sorry?
the guy from Nashville. I hate to interrupt.
Yes.
I believe it's Brian Copeland.
Copeland, yes. And
Yeah.
I still follow him, yeah. I still follow him and listen to him and got some really great tips, and we got a really nice video camera. So I have been doing the neighborhood videos. They get a lot of search, and even just getting out and getting beautiful captions of things going on in the community and putting them up there. I agree with Rich. Just don't wait until you have it perfected. Just get it out there. So.
Hey, Brian Copeland did one of the perhaps best videos real estate videos that I've seen. And if you remember, maybe like 2 years ago, there was something going around Facebook. It was like stuff, that plumbers say or stuff that taxi cab drivers say. He did the
Yes,
stuff that real estate agents say, and it was like, I remember there were things like, oh yeah, brass is back, and it was hilarious. And I saw that and I thought, wow, that was pretty high production, right? There's a lot of editing and put that together and stuff. But I was like, look at the power of that. So I always like to, when I think of a great example of somebody using video, call it out. So Brian Copeland, yeah, that was inspirational for me. I still haven't gotten to the level of Lucas or probably John here with the camcopter, but the power is pretty darn amazing. Karen, you're on your iPad today, right?
Yeah, and that's why I don't have a lower third. Evidently, it's not available through the iPad. And I'm also not able to, I don't have a lot of the features, but I'm at my brokerage office right after the meeting, so being able to get out and do a hangout anywhere is a real plus. So.
Tell them where you're at.
I'm at my brokerage in Frederick, Maryland. Our brokerage is Turning Point Real Estate, and we sell houses in Central Maryland. So my husband is the residential sales manager, so I kind of need to go to the meetings to support him. But I can still do what I want to do thanks to my iPad. So yeah.
So good. I was thinking, what's working for you now, Lucas and John and Karen? What kind of videos? For me, the big thing has always been the videos are really good, but you just can't get the views. But for technically, are you guys using sliders or just what's working?
I'll make a comment if I may, because John, before we started up here, asked a little bit about getting more views on these videos. But obviously, there's the time effect. The more you're putting productions out there, you start to widen your audience. And for myself, how it gets linked into the MLS representation. But I'm actually finding on YouTube now, just also doing a small ad campaign, and I'm talking $150 promotion. You can target your local vicinity, like in my case, the city of Calgary. And I would say an average video, I was starting to, I was always very pleased, 200, 300, 400, 500. For $150 in a couple weeks, I can get 6,000. I've got 10,000 now in a few weeks, pretty quickly, and it's like, wow, it's really cranks up the video views, and it widens the audience of people big time.
Hey, I played a little bit with that. What kind of videos? You doing the pre-roll or the?
So if you're familiar with, if you have a YouTube channel and you look at manage your videos. And then there's a little drop-down menu, which says promote, and then you just follow the steps. And I had done it in other ways before that felt a little bit more roundabout and wasn't quite getting the traction. But this small promote feature, that's just a YouTube AdWord, Google AdWord campaign, and right off YouTube, it works fantastic if you're trying to drive views to one of your videos.
So it's in the back side of your YouTube channel. You're in the back room.
Yes. Yeah, it's in your YouTube channel.
I'm doing
Video
it
Manager.
right now, and it's super easy. Yeah, you just go to, you click on your name in the upper right-hand corner, Video Manager, and then you see your list of videos. It has the Edit button and a little drop-down next to it, Info and Settings, Captions. Yep, Promote, right from there. So
Promote, yeah, cool. There you go.
And you're getting click-throughs from that.
Sorry.
Well, you know, again, you can watch, it's always the video views is perhaps one part of the story. How many people then filter through to, you know, your website or what you want to see past that. I haven't tracked that super closely, but the video views are really ramping up for sure.
Yeah, I had a question. Have you promoted any of your listing videos that way, and what kind of results have you seen?
And nowadays, I'd say 9 out of 10 of the videos, if not more, are strictly listing videos that I produce. And yes, I use that for my listing videos. And when you show a seller that their home has been viewed 10,000 times on YouTube, they can get pretty excited that you're actually promoting and marketing your property. And if that's coming out at again, a $150, $200 price tag, I mean, it's a pretty light marketing fee to get a huge impact for what the consumer would observe.
Have you tried doing that on Facebook? Because I did a listing video. I did a $30 promotion on Facebook and got 600 views of a video, and I thought that was pretty good spend as well.
Yeah, I've gone away from Facebook. I've done what I like with Facebook now is it's kind of the way the scrolling shows the video moving, and people can just kind of unmute it. So uploading to Facebook is kind of nice. What I find when I actually do paid for advertising on Facebook, though, is that you get a lot of junky garbage comments. You know, you got to get right in there and filter some of the trash because people just are pretty quick to talk trash. I mean, for ourselves, if you're putting on a $2 million listing and you get some rough on the edges character, you know, saying he's the anti-society individual. Anyways, you get crazy comments, and it becomes a lot of babysitting. And so I kind of question it a little bit. So I prefer the YouTube Google AdWords campaign, but Facebook, it's another route if that's your chosen platform, I guess.
What were those numbers again, Lucas? Your spend and your views?
For spend on views?
Yeah.
On YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. I'm saying $150. In the last, quickly, my videos have gone to 6,000 to 10,000 views for that $150.
Okay, so that blows away the Facebook experience I had. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good tip. What is there any secret to the keywords you're choosing?
And for me, it's more just making it's local to the Calgary audience. So Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Again, I guess that's just, I don't know how that works. People with the IP address to this vicinity. I mean, I'm more interested that people within my city are seeing the promotions that I'm doing than people across the country or anywhere else. So again, you know, I always go the best viewer audience is going to be people who are viewing the listing on the MLS or seeing it on our website. But if you're trying to spread the word about what you're doing and you think you're doing something unique and interesting, it's, again, a good way to share that message.
Well, yeah, not to mention we've picked up other sellers because of our marketing of videos on YouTube. They see what we're doing for other people and say, well, I want you to sell my house. So there's all that aspect of it, too. Marketing yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool, Karen. I didn't know you were doing video. You're doing everything.
Well, I got people. What can I say? I also wanted to mention that I've been lately doing some hangouts with Blair Warner, who is the credit counseling specialist. And you know, as you do the hangouts, they filter right into your YouTube channel, and you can even edit them and, you know, fix them up if. You know, one day we were doing a hangout, and for some reason we both started choking on our iced tea, and, you know, just went right into YouTube and edited that right out. And I'm having a lot of good response from that. Of course, before I became a realtor, I was a teacher, and so I really gravitate towards that kind of thing, teaching people about processes, and it's a natural for me. It might not be so natural for other people, but just I think that that's done really well for me. Got a lot of traffic to those, and of course then you embed them on your website. And actually, Blair Warner got a call from a client who saw the video, which I'm really thrilled about. You know, being able to share, share the juice, the Google juice or whatever.
That's one of my big issues about videos. I like doing them, and you see these great videos from some people like, oh my God, if anybody watches this video, they're going to hire this person. They are really good. But that has 15 views. Oh my God. That's the problem. It's not the quality so much as trying to get the views, and then it's like, how do you get the views? You have a blog which feeds into the video, and that sounds like it's a great tip from Lucas just now. I definitely want to try that. But how do you get the views to these great videos? Because so many people do great videos, but they did not pay off because they just weren't getting seen.
Well, I'm not going to say my videos are great or all that creative. I just do talking head videos about topics that are 45 to 60 seconds long a piece. And, I've been watching Bill Gassett, who on Google Plus is probably the most followed and commented upon realtor, etc. And, he'll circulate his material, right? It's like once a month. He'll be putting that same piece of content up on Google Plus. So the first time maybe he gets 100 plus ones. The second time it's up to 200. The third time it's up to 300. And I know just managing the promotion of my video blog posts is sort of a daunting task. Karen, if you have people, you could turn that over to them. But I've been guilty, and I'll get 150, 200 views, which is not what I was expecting. But I usually poop out on the promotion angle of it. I mean, I do Facebook probably once, Google Plus probably once. It'll get tweeted and retweeted. But I think, if you're going to spend the time to do great video, you need to have an awesome promotion campaign behind it, because it's such a shame to see people have those 15 views. So has anybody got a system or sharing and promoting their videos that's working, or is everybody struggling with that same thing?
One thing I did, just one that organically got a lot of views, which was I had the word forecast in it. So it was like Phoenix real estate market forecast or something like that, and that ended up kind of taking off. And at that time I did a little on that particular video. Things that got it rolling was I thought it was a really good video. This is like last August, and I called some friends or emailed some friends and said, hey, can you link to this? And I think having links, a few incoming links to that video from other blogs helped it get off the ground, but that was my best organic result. And people were searching for forecasts on the market forecast.
And so it's great to identify a keyword that works too. And there's nothing wrong. I think all of us who are active in social media and blogging kind of do that behind the scenes. Like, hey, John, you helped me with a post about absorption rate, right? I'll send out emails saying, hey, I've got a content piece that I think is, very shareable, behind the scenes on Google Plus. Would you please share it? I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, whereas we're all grappling with how to make Google Plus really work and how to make video really work. But how about you, John, there in Alabama? Have you done anything? Do you have an active and organized social promotion plan for your videos, or are you just kind of winging it and doing it in between showing houses and taking listings?
Yeah, pretty much sort of winging it. Really, mine, I guess I don't get worried so much about views. Maybe I tell myself that, so not to worry too much about low views. But what I try to worry about is effectiveness and my closing, from what I'm doing. For instance, like I had a series of things where our lake it's really disorganized and rural, so I kind of broke it into areas, and I called them neighborhoods. Some of them really are neighborhoods, but that's one thing that I use. I don't get a whole lot of views on those neighborhood videos, but that's one thing that I use when I sit down with sellers. Y'all mentioned earlier, sitting down with sellers, I say, hey, look, Mr. and Ms. Seller, I've got this video of this neighborhood. I'm explaining, I'm going through and touring your neighborhood, and that really helps. So I tend to focus more on effectiveness than I do, I got to have X number of thousands of views, just because I'm in a tiny area to begin with, but I do need to do a better job of promotions, and I really think probably what I need to do is hook it up. I don't do a good job of hooking up with my monthly email blasts. I probably should. I think that's one area that I would like to focus this year, is linking in relevant video content to those.
Oh, absolutely. I do that in my Constant Contact mailing every month, and you can watch maybe that's not the best platform to do it on, I don't know, but you can see the clicks, and people definitely like to watch the videos, and since yours are special, I bet that would be a great thing to do there, John.
Something that I do on a SEO thing for the videos, which I think works at least a little bit, is like, so I'll put so I got the YouTube video and embedded into my blog, but I also will have a text link back to the full YouTube video. So on that text link, I can put in some keywords like, what would it be? Lake Martin, waterfront home, and then it links back to the YouTube video itself. So I think that helps Google figure out, oh, that reinforces the title, that reinforces whatever. And that one time I did go to my buddies and ask them to link out. They were using a pretty interesting keyword text back to the YouTube video.
Yeah, I do that. I do that too. I wish there was an SEO expert here who would comment on that. But yeah, text links, John. I think that's really important. Great point.
One other thing, I know that Lucas has got to bug out pretty quick, so I just wanted to.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I'm doing okay here. My appointment, I've been able to delay it, so
okay, cool.
I'm excited to hang out. Thanks for remembering that, though.
But hey, speaking of linking, I've linked to playlists too. I don't know if you guys are using playlist features a whole lot, but I love it when somebody goes to my YouTube channel and it's like all organized and they can see it. And I've had good results getting those playlists to rank too. So I'll embed a video on my blog, put a link to the specific video, and then to see more videos of this type, link to that playlist, and that seems to go over even better, linking to the individual playlist. And
wow, I've never linked to a playlist. That's a cool idea. So then you say, for more videos like this, click here, kind of stuff.
Yeah, something like that. Or for more Albuquerque home seller videos, for more Albuquerque home buyer videos, click here. Mixing up the anchor text, of course. Yeah. You should do it, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I see a lot of realtors who are not taking advantage of that feature, setting up playlists and then organizing your page so that when people get there, it's not just this wall of videos, but they're segmented into groups: buyer videos, seller videos, homes in such community, and this community, and that community. And one of the things that I wanted to mention was, after the home sells, the usefulness of that video is far from over. What I usually do is go and change the title to Home for Sale Next Neighborhood, and then I add it to that playlist for that neighborhood. And like you're saying, Rich, often I've seen my playlist show up in a Google search. And
oh yeah, absolutely. And I mark my listings sold. Big bold letters and exclamation point. But hey, somebody typed a question in the text box. It says, "What player do you use to embed?" I guess that was you, John. Are you using WordPress for your website or blog?
Yeah, I use WordPress, and I use the old. I haven't researched in a while, but YouTube used to have an embed player that it used, and then I got grandfathered in with that embed, and I just still use it. And I think they discontinued it. But that's the player that I use. I didn't know if any of y'all had any better, tools to embed your playlists.
Well, I don't use a tool. I just copy and paste the URL and put it in, and it pretty much does it for me. I might use the embed code if I want to tweak the size of it, but I'm not using a plug-in or a player to embed videos on my WordPress.
Yeah, on mine it has, like, if you go to, like, for instance, my testimonials or something like that, you go to my testimonials page, you'll see the first one queued up, and then you'll see little tiny thumbnails of 6 other ones right, to the left. I guess I'm trying to point correctly. And so you can go to the next one, go to the next one. I do the same thing with my, whatever neighborhoods or,
So it's not just a player, but it displays differently on the page as well. So it gives you sort of like a video wall where you can see 9 or 12 videos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a really cool idea. I just haven't gone there because I haven't.
Yeah.
What player do you? So you already said, Karen.
I use Jetpack. I've mentioned that plugin before because I think it's fantastic. But I use it. It gives you the embed codes, and I like it because it's gonna size itself to whatever mobile device it's being seen in. I don't know if the others do that or not, but I think that's something to remember if you're seeing a lot of your traffic is mobile these days.
Say, we got a question from Kristen Levanway. I was going to invite her in, but I was kind of nervous or still getting used to doing a Google Hangout. But she had a question about getting engagement on comments on YouTube videos and Google Plus, and sometimes she doesn't see the comments. Do you get? That's one thing I'm disappointed in. I would love to get more engagement off the videos, get a conversation going, but I've never really cracked that code at all.
Well, I mean, that changed, what, 6 months ago with the Google Plus YouTube integration. Now, if you post your video or you let it auto-post to Google Plus and people comment on it there, it appears on YouTube, and that's really helped my engagement. How about the rest of you?
Yeah.
I think engagement. Am I on mute here? Can you
No,
hear me?
you're good.
No,
Okay.
We can hear you.
I think there's probably a principle of it's based on percentage of views. You're going to have comments with the more people that are looking at it. So I've certainly found that the more people are looking at a video, the more comments there will be, and there does seem to be a snowballing effect sometimes. That one person's comment can kind of create another comment from somebody else. But definitely, it's the more views I'm getting, the more comments I'm getting as well.
Hey, here we got another question from Bruce Lemire. Somebody else mentioned Bruce Lemire being in, I can't remember who mentioned it, but he had a question here. He was mentioning that his non-branded videos that go into the MLS get far more views via the distribution through the MLS, which makes sense. That's not my shtick. My shtick is basically the market report, so it's not going in the MLS. But I got to, I need to check that since I've had one that had which was a home tour, and it did have an MLS view, an MLS version. So I got to check that and see how many views I got.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I'm like, do I even want to put my unbranded videos on my MLS? My MLS is trying to steal traffic from those of us who've worked hard over the last 5 years. Totally different topic here, but basically trying to steal traffic. And I'm like, I don't want to give them that video, right? I want to give them the photos. I have to, but I'm like, I keep my videos only on my YouTube channel and use the branded ones. And I'm like, forget you, Southwest MLS. I guess.
Well,
John,
Rich, why wouldn't you? It seems like it's just free extra views of the home. I don't see a downside.
I guess I'm just thinking that I want to promote myself through my videos. And what I'm doing with my listing videos is I'm on camera, right? So I do a little intro and then I do voiceover work on those. So, I don't even know if those would be considered unbranded if I was on camera and it just didn't have my contact information. But I just have issues with my local MLS board. So that's kind of why I'm being stingy with my video.
I do that. I have unbranded. I unbrand all my listing videos, and I probably shouldn't. I mean, I probably should have 2 separate ones. But I don't have any brand on there, and I also put them in our local MLS. I use a different host for that because I don't want inside the MLS to have for that next video to pop up like YouTube suggests next video. So I use a welcome mat, which is a different host. But I don't have a whole lot of views there either. But my theory is I want all that marketing and all the power of the marketing to go behind it. So that's why I chalk our MLS full, but that's just my personal theory. But just to plug Bruce, since he's watching, it's Bruce Lemieux. He's with Moco Real Estate. He's in Montgomery County, Maryland, and he has awesome videos, especially his community information videos. He does market updates like you do, and honestly, Bruce should be on this panel. He's great.
Hey, John, I saw in the comments you mentioned Bruce earlier. That's where you saw it, John Wake. It says, I also taught a class at RE Tech South about how to get started on video. I still have a SlideShare presentation. So that'd be cool, something for you to share on Google+. Put it up. I'll definitely share it to our Just Hanging Out Talking Real Estate community that needs some content. So also you guys, I'll share some of your videos on that community also as well to try and get them some exposure. It's kind of a thank you for joining us today as well. But John, a question for you. You say you're not getting the traffic that you would want to, but are your competitors doing video? Are you competing head to head, and are your numbers better than your competitors? Are your competitors doing the little Animato or, easy to do iPhone videos that aren't not too impressive? I mean, if you're in a small market, you're never going to have huge numbers, and like you mentioned before, that doesn't mean it's ineffective. So what are people doing around you? How are your videos comparing?
Nobody else is doing video. A lot
Okay,
of
so
agents have. Yeah.
stop right there. That's awesome that you're doing them. I mean, right? You got a leg up right there. But I'm sorry, go on.
No, they have, a lot of them have YouTube channels, but it's mostly slide programs with Yanni music or maybe John Tesh getting really getting down on the music there. But no offense to any of that, it's better than nothing. But in all kidding aside, if there are some talented agents in my area and there's with a lot bigger budgets, and they could blow me away, and I'm just expecting it at any day just to log on to YouTube and see myself just blown out of the water. But until then, it's just little old me.
Why do we think that agents aren't embracing video? Is it just too big a mountain to climb to get started? What do you think, Karen?
Well, yeah, it's difficult, and I think a lot of people want it to be perfect. And they're, it's technical to a large extent. You know that if you're a gifted, if you're usually gifted with people and selling and stuff like that, you're usually, I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, but you're usually not technically oriented. So I think, John, the fact that you're out there and you have all these videos, it doesn't matter if other people start, you're just still going to be so far ahead of them.
Something that for me is always, I have a perfectionist tendencies, which is and I always have to tell myself the perfect is the enemy of the good. But something that I'm always tricking myself mentally to just put it out there. Something that works for me lately, sometimes is to say, okay, I'm going to do one this week and one next week. So this week it's like, well, it's not perfect, but I'm going to do another one next week. So I can fix it then. So just knowing the fact that I'm going to be doing more helps me get over the fact that this one isn't perfect, but okay, next week I'll take care of that.
If I may have a comment about something I hear sometimes is, you hear this from busy, quote-unquote busy realtors, but I'm too busy to do that type of marketing because I'm out doing real estate. So I'm a very busy realtor as well, like everyone, and so it's always carving out the things to do which you feel are most important, have the highest impact. But I think as an example, let's say a realtor has in their weekly program that, I'm gonna sit down and call 20 people every Tuesday or something, and that's your model of how you create some traction in the business. For myself, I've really thought and tried hard to flip that around, saying, I'm gonna keep the phone off for 4 hours here, and I'm really gonna put nose to the grindstone and get this thing done, and I'm gonna produce something that 5,000 people are going to watch it in a couple weeks, and that is huge impact. Instead of me calling 20 people, I want 20 people calling me every week because of the productions that I'm putting out there. So when I hear people say that I'm too busy, doing real estate stuff, well, in my mind, I, of course, am also very busy doing real estate stuff, but I want to create something that is worth talking about and not trying to call other people and get business that way. So.
And the other thing on that when it does work, it works so well when they come in and they already know you.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Then it's a really smooth transaction. They've watched the videos. They kind of have a feel for your personality and kind of trust you, and it just works so much better, so much more fun than to do it when they have seen some videos and got a feel for your personality. Because how many times you take somebody out, you show them a few homes, and for whatever reason you don't click, and they just sort of drift away, and you just wasted all that time, and it's just not fun. But when they've watched the videos, it's almost always fun. It's easy transaction, an easier transaction.
I had a listing appointment last week, and I started to address a question, and the seller said, well, you don't need to answer that, man. I watched all your home selling tips on YouTube. He's like, one right after another. So, John, just what you said, our relationship was already, in a good place. And the beauty of the playlist was, right, they feed one right into another, so I watched all of them. And I was like, thank you. Make the listing appointment really focus on not those repeat questions everybody like, do I have to leave when I need a showing, or when I have a showing, etc. Do I need to declutter when I have a showing, etc. It really led us to get to the end of the conversation quicker about what was really important to him, what were his fears, and what he needed to do. So excellent.
Yeah, well, people
point.
don't trust you, so after they watch some of the videos, they get to the feel that they trust you, and if you can get past that barrier, holy mackerel.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things on my list to do next is to create a series of videos. And by the way, I think at least I'm seeing when we keep them under 3 to 5 minutes, they tend to get they tend to get views. If you make them too much longer, I've noticed people are just clicking out. They just don't have the attention span that they used to. But one of the things on my list is to put together a list of informational videos about what happens now. Okay, you signed the contract. What can you expect next? And then have a series on that. Okay, you just got pre-qualified. What happens next? And just put together a list that I can actually, not so much for marketing, but I actually can send that playlist to a new client and say, look these over and let me know if you have any questions, or if I haven't covered something that you want to know. I think it would, in my mind, it would do a lot of prep work. So.
Hey, cool. So this has been great. Why don't we wrap it up and see if we can just go across the panel and people can talk a little bit about what they're doing new with video, any things they need to promote your website, talk about what's new happening. How about John? What's up? Where can people reach you? Tell us. If I want to buy a home in Lake Martin.
Lake Martin, Alabama, you go to lakemartinvoice.com. That's my website. And you can just call me. Again, it's not a big fancy corporate brokerage. It's just myself and one other agent. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. I learned a lot. I've been taking notes. I guess that's why I've been looking at the top of my head a lot. I've been writing, but I've been furiously taking notes, and I've learned a lot. And I appreciate y'all having me out. This has been great.
Thanks so much for coming. I really love your stuff. I learned all about seawalls and building seawalls from one of your videos. It fascinated me, even though it's not going to ever come in handy for me in Arizona. How about you, Karen? What's up? What's next?
Well, what's next is more hangouts, more videos, more neighborhoods, more. Oh, you know what? This is exciting. A friend of mine let me borrow his Google Glass. So we're going to walk around downtown during one of the next festivals we have in the historic district and take some video. And my friend happens to be an SEO expert, and so he's filling me full of all this factoids about how it's going to boost just because it's done through Google Glass. So I'll let you know how that turns out.
Good. Absolutely. So what's your website?
My website is frederickrealestateonline.com.
Cool. And Lucas, thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. You're a star.
Well, thanks, John. I was really excited to get a call here, and I've loved being part of your Google Plus community, and I'm always scanning for ideas. I was actually hoping to chat with Charlie. I saw one of his videos last month because I got picked up on some photography for real estate blog, and then he commented. Then I checked out his stuff. I saw one of the videos he did, and I knocked it off basically 2 weeks ago because he had a real creative angle, and I sent him a message saying, hey, just to let you know, I've watched your channel, I love your stuff, and I replicated one of your videos for inspiration. But I think for all of us who are doing this kind of work, it's great to connect with other people because we can kind of scan who's doing what and generate some ideas. I've mentioned someone was looking for a good class about how to do these real estate videos. There's a guy down there, I was saying, Stephen Garner, with Video for Real Estate Agents. He has a really good instructional guide how to produce these if you're looking for the how-to answers. And I always say I'm kind of more the why guy, so I know why I do it, but when it comes to the technical aspects, I'm not much of a teacher. So, but all that said, thanks so much for hosting this. It's been great to be a part of.
Thanks, Lucas. And you should call Charlie. Just give him a call. He's a great guy. I don't know him that well, but when I called him to get onto this, he was planning to come in, but real estate, how that is, calls come in, And but give him a call. I bet he would enjoy the heck out of talking to
Cool.
you.
And by the way, I'm ramagegroup.tv if you want to see what some of my work is.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucas, could you mention, I'm writing this down, ramagetv.com. Definitely check it out.
Ramage Group TV.
Ramage Group TV. Who was it that you mentioned? Stephen Garner?
Yeah, Stephen Garner. Yeah, he video for real estate agents. And I posted a link in this group chat here, but I can try to thread that in somewhere else so you guys can take a look at where he's at. But yeah, there's been a real fun community of interested agents that I've connected with there. So a lot of them are chatting with me on via Facebook as I'm sitting here, actually. So it's kind of fun.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That is. Hey, thanks, Lucas. Thanks, John Coley. I get excited when we do one of these every week, and we see new faces come in and faces that have a lot to add to the show. A couple things coming up. We have Bobby Carroll with Dacno Marketing has agreed to come on and talk to us about what makes a great real estate website. And Lynn Pineda, who from Florida, who you've seen on Google Plus if you're active here. I always think of her as the Pinterest lady. She's agreed to do a hangout with us probably in 2 weeks to talk about Pinterest. As you know, cool things about being actually on the hangout versus just watching it on YouTube or via YouTube afterwards is that we have the text chat going on the right hand of the side of the screen, and people are putting links in there and pointing out other members. That's one of the cool things. Also, I'm going to try and actively make a point of promoting the content and videos of the people that are agreeing to come on camera as a little way of saying thank you. So we'll try and throw some links your way, Lucas, John, and of course John Wake and Karen as always. So.
Good. Let me mention a couple of things. I got two things. They're both called Best of Real Estate Video. One is a YouTube channel. I haven't updated it much, but if you want to get a bunch of examples of like different styles of real estate videos. So they're a bit older, but there's a lot in there you can look at. And then there's also a Google Plus community called Best of Real Estate Video, which is it has a lot of agents, but it also has a lot of videographers in there, which is really a lot of fun to see what people are doing. So that's another good way to get up to speed on real estate video in general.
Thanks.
Well, good. I'm set. Anything else, Rich? Shut her down?
Nah, shut her down, John. Thanks for hosting. Takes some burden off of my plate. And, you know, anybody out there who's watching us thinks, hey, I have a topic that I would like to talk about. I have some people I'd like to discuss it, but I don't know how to do a Google Hangout. I don't know how to promote it, get started. That's one of the reasons why we're here, too. So reach out to me or Karen or John Wake and say, hey, I have something I'd like to try and do. We would love to have you do that. We'd love to see this thing grow. And, you know, I think that'd be awesome if somebody just out of the blue said, hey, I'd like to talk about, gosh, I don't even know. Yeah, you know, and I've got some friends that would like to talk about it. You're welcome to come on in. And those of you who are watching, I'm starting to get some emails now from people saying, oh, we're watching regularly. I'm like, get off the fence, come on in and join us on camera next time and reach John Wake, Karen Highland, or myself and let us know if you want to be on camera, okay?
Sounds good. So I'm going to stop the live broadcast, but John and Lucas and Karen and Rich, we could debrief each other afterwards. So thanks, everybody. Until next time.